Good morning, everybody. Well, I got some great news to tell you. Some great news. Okay? Now, DOJ don't like what just happened to him, okay? Department of Justice. Jack Smith doesn't like what happened to him, okay? But let me tell you where all this stands, okay? Right now, okay? Right now, let me tell you where this stands. Hold on. Okay. Let's start from the beginning what I'm talking about, okay? So I can show you what's happening, okay? I'm going to show you what's taking place. Okay, here we go. Okay. You have a man named Donald Trump decides he's going to run for president. Okay? He has 17 candidates in his line. Okay? The thing is the 17 candidates that he has, they're all gone. Hold on. Just woke up this morning. That's why I'm trying to catch myself, okay? Well, anyway, this man is going to run for president. He's an outsider because he never worked in government offices. He's never worked in, big offices or anything. Okay? So here's the deal. This man beats millions of people. Okay? And he becomes president. The Democrats didn't want him as a president. They didn't care what was going on. So they did everything they could in their power to make sure they could try to get rid of this man. So they started the deal with the Mueller investigation. Okay? And it didn't go nowhere. 2 years of his presidency, the Republicans were fighting, or the Democrats were fighting Donald Trump, the Republican president, over the Mueller investigation. So this brings in impeachment 1. Okay? Mueller come out and said he's not done anything wrong. So this brings impeachment 1. Judge Roberts comes in. He's seated by Congress. The first votes come in. Found not guilty on this charge. Abuse of power. Obstruction of Congress. Then it comes in, and the second vote comes in. And Trump found not guilty on that one too. So that impeachment 1 goes out the door. So 2 years later, when Trump, his last 2 years as president, they tried to impeach him again. This time Judge Roberts doesn't stand in. So then they tried to impeach him for, almost the same thing, just different. But they tried to impeach him twice. But this one goes out the door. The first vote comes in, not guilty. Second vote comes in, not guilty. Both of these came in by Congress. They both were not guilty, but they were close. Okay, so this one goes out the door. So Trump is no longer president anymore. You got Joe Biden and Trump running for president. So-called Sleepy Joe wins. And a lot of people knows what happened with that incident. It's kind of funny how Donald Trump had big crowd. But Joe Biden had none crowds. How could he win with little bitty crowds? Everybody knows what happened with that. All right. So then you got all these problems that are going on. And people don't see it. So then, while he's trying to run for president again, Nancy Pelosi comes in and they tried to impeach him for the 3rd time. But this time, out of office. You can't do that. You only can impeach a president while he's sitting in office, not out of office. But you can impeach people I found that out. Okay? So, the weird thing about this, they tried to impeach him again, this time for the January 6th committee thing. Then they tried to do that. Then they tried to vote to keep him from running for office ever again. First vote comes in, boom, out the door it goes. Second vote comes in, boom, out the door it goes. Trump's cleared. Okay, then over the last year and a half, Trump decides to take his documents to his house, Mar-a-Lago. Anyway, they're saying it was against the law for Trump to take his documents to his house. Now, I don't care what anybody says, but Trump's allowed to keep some of those documents. So then they come in, they raid his house, which is ridiculous, and they get all these documents. So then after they started bringing their documents in, Merrick Garland said, hey, wait a minute, I need somebody that would try to bring this man down. Try their best to bring this man down with anything. So then while they're investigating Donald Trump, they end up finding documents of Joe Biden and Mike Pence, which is 3. The weird thing about it, Jack Smith says, well, I'm going to go through all these documents and see what I can find. He comes back a couple months later in March and says, I'm pressing charges on Trump because he had documents. So he's going to press him for 37 documents. Why come they can't do that to Biden? Because he's president. Why can't he do it to Pence? He's not president anymore, but they found documents on him too. So then, when Jack Smith comes in and say, wait a minute, we're going to throw indictments on Trump. You think they're going to stick? Nope. Because they violate his constitutional rights. So then, so he comes out and says, well, here are all the documents on Trump. And he talks about the Espionage Act. The first time in history a former president has ever been indicted. And the weird thing about it, Trump is arrested. The first one comes in New York City. Okay? Alvin Bragg does not know the law. He brings these documents out. He talks about money, hush money with Stormy Daniels. Well, DOJ, a couple of years ago, closed that case. So Alvin Bragg cannot use that case against Trump because that's double jeopardy. That is considered double jeopardy. And if they use this, the judge is going to look at it and say, wait a minute, that's double jeopardy. Once it's closed off by DOJ once, yes. So if you try to use it again against Alvin Bragg, tries to use it again, he can't use it. So he broke Trump's Sixth Amendment right. He did not read the indictments that he said that Trump was charged with, like DOJ did. So that breaks the Sixth Amendment right. And that means this case could just go right out the door. But it's going to go out the door anyway. So then Trump comes to New York City. He's arrested. A magistrate judge tells him what's going on, blah, 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 and all this. But he has to come back later. So here's the situation. Then Jack Smith said, well, I got the 30 indictments that I can put on Trump. Then the judge comes into him and said, nope, it's been delayed. So that makes DOJ mad. Jack Smith thought, wait a minute, I can get him for January 6th committee. I can get him for the January 6th thing. I can put 6 more charges on him. But the judge comes out and said, nope, you can't do that. I put it on delay. So then, yesterday, listen what I'm saying. Yesterday, Judge Cannon, first they come in on the 18th, they both started talking on both sides. Okay? Judge Cannon didn't like what DOJ was saying. Judge Cannon didn't like what the Trump side was saying. So she had to make a decision. So she set Trump's case for May 24th. You know what May 24th is? It's Memorial Day. Oh, it's the week of Memorial Day, May 24th and 26th. She said it for May 24th, 2024. So Jack Smith comes out yesterday and said, she can't do that. She can do anything she wants. She can do anything because she's a judge. And so this makes DOJ mad, so they can't do anything with this case anymore until next year. So this case is completely dropped. But what's going to happen with this case, no juror, no juror is going to convict Donald Trump. Because this is politicization. They're trying to do anything they can to keep Trump from running. They tried to do it with impeachment 1, it didn't go nowhere. They tried to do it with impeachment 2, it didn't go nowhere. So now they're bringing all these documents to the first president in the United States to have this happen to. And there's a lot of clauses in the Constitution that could shut these cases and lock them down. And one of them is January 6th. Is Amendment 6, 7, and 8, and 9. They violate Trump's rights. Don't believe me? Go look at them. The weird thing about it, there could be a juror that comes out and says, I don't think Trump's guilty. There could be another juror come out and said, why come we have not seen Trump's and Biden's documents? The judge could order that. The judge could order saying, I want Biden's documents. I want Pence's documents. Motions are going to be filed every day on this. And it's going to push the case back farther, 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 and farther, and farther. It's going to push it way back farther where it's just going to go, bam, drop. There's 3 things that could happen here. 1, Trump could be found guilty, which we know that's not going to happen. 2, there could be a hung jury. And 3, could be a dismissed trial. And Judge Cannon can rule this thing called Rule 29. Do you know what Rule 29 is? Rule 29 means that there's no evidence here at all. And when you indict somebody, you got to have the right evidence. I don't care if you have it on paper. I don't care if you have it in front of you or anything. Those indictments would have to actually be and prove what he did. He would have to convince a 12 jury that Trump did this. And you know how hard that's going to be. Trump's going to be, Jack Smith's going to go over hurdles and hurdles and hurdles. He has to prove what Donald Trump did. And you think the jury's going to believe DOJ? No. No, they're not. Because a lot of these documents Biden had. And he had more than Trump did. 100 boxes. Trump didn't have that many. And he also, Pence had some of them too. So why are you picking on Trump when you should be picking on Biden and you should be picking on Pence? They won't pick on Pence because he's president. A law came out after the Watergate scandal that they were going to change the rules. That a president cannot be indicted while he sits in office. Well, guess what? Merrick Garland's getting ready to switch that. So it can happen to anybody. The other thing is that Jack Smith thinks he's got Trump wrapped in his corner. He don't. He don't. They've been trying to get this man for a long time. One day Donald Trump comes out when he was president. He said to the Chinese people, I am the chosen one. What? He said, I am the chosen one. And the weird thing, he says that. And why does he say that? Because he tells people, I am the chosen one. So could he be the chosen one? I want you to hear that. And he tells you what he said. He says it to Chinese people. I am the chosen one. Listen to this. Donald Trump said, I am the chosen one. Donald Trump said, I am the chosen one. Listen to this.
Having health insurance is important. So if anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up.
Somebody said it's Trump's trade war. This isn't my trade war. This is a trade war that should have taken place a long time ago by a lot of other presidents. Over the last 5 or 6 years, China's made $500 billion. $500 billion. Ripped it out of the United States. And not only that, if you take a look, intellectual property theft. Add that to it. And add a lot of other things to it. So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. So I'm taking on.
Did you hear what he said? Could he be the chosen one to make sure none like this stuff like that happens again? Could he be the one that God has put in his path to block everything that what the DOJ does to people? It's unnecessary. Could he be the one that God has chosen to make sure nothing like this happens again? Remember, Donald Trump said, it's a kangaroo court. Like he said with indictment 1 and 2. It didn't work. So who's to say this is going to work? Here's the thing. If Trump is even indicted, my question to you, can he run? Can he run with indictments on his head? There's nothing in the Constitution say Trump can run. There's nothing in the Constitution that Trump cannot run with indictments on him. Also, there's nothing in the Constitution that if he's convicted, he can't run. He always said if he runs and he's convicted, he'll pardon himself. There's nothing in the Constitution saying the president can't pardon himself. But there is some kind of law in the Constitution about that, because there's no judge and no jury. So if they can do this to him, then he can do this to them. He always said that if he got back in office, he's going to pardon every one of the January 6 committees. He's going to pardon everybody that DOJ and that all of the people from January 6. He's going to pardon every one of them. But by the time he gets into office, half of those prison sentences will be almost over with. But he's still going to pardon. He also said that he's going after Biden and he's going after DOJ on lawsuits. Because what they did to him, he's going to come back on them on. He's going to get him. Now, you know, about 3 weeks ago, they found cocaine in the White House. Wow. Cocaine in the White House? Who would do that? Well, I'll tell you what. Remember, Joe Biden's son got busted for cocaine. And they found it in the White House, where there's some videos out there showing and evidence of what he's doing in front of his daddy. But a lot of people don't believe it. There were 2 IRS people that came to the White House Wednesday, telling everything out of the bottom of the pocket that what Joe Biden and his son did to Burisma. And now DOJ is posted on Facebook. January 6th, GOP posted on Facebook so everybody can see it. Now, are they going to believe it? Who knows? But here's the thing. It takes one juror to say he's not guilty. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be hard to find a juror to seat Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump is too powerful. He is too good and he's too powerful. And nobody, it will be hard. Especially it will be hard in Florida because that's where he lives. And a lot of people in Florida are Trump's voters. And, you know, back in 1984, Ronald Reagan won. But in 1984, Ronald Reagan took all swing states. And they called the race early. I believe that's what Donald Trump's going to do. I think Donald Trump's going to take all the swing states, just like Reagan did in 1984. I believe people are going to vote for Trump more better than they'll do Biden. Because Biden is too old to run for president anymore. And all the stuff that Biden's been doing is ridiculous. Like kissing a baby. That's ridiculous. You know, and all the stuff, there's things that are starting to happen. Things are going on and everybody can see it. Even Democrats can see it. Democrats are worried about Biden. They are scared about Biden. But if it comes down to Trump and Biden, Trump's going to win this time. Because the GOP has signed a thing where you cannot have any more mail-in ballots. You have to come to the ballot box. That's what caused Biden to win. The mail-in ballots. That ain't going to happen anymore. If they do have mail-in ballots, they're going to be watched very, very close. There's going to be a security guard in every booth place to make sure that no one is doing anything wrong. Because I'm going to tell you, Trump is going to destroy Biden. And he's going to destroy him so hard that Trump is going to be figuring out a way to damage Joe Biden. And right now, Joe Biden's in trouble for his family, Teresa, the involvement of money scheme laundering, and everything like this. But DOJ ain't doing nothing about it. They're not doing anything about it. Why? Because Joe Biden is president. But I guarantee you, when he gets out of office, they're going to do the same thing, just like they're doing Donald Trump. They're going to say, you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. And what it's going to all come down to, they're going to shut the case down, just like Donald Trump. The bad thing about this case, and the last thing I got to say, Trump ain't going to go to jail. Trump ain't going to go to no prison or nothing. So when DOJ yesterday got the notice that they will not be able to go to trial until May 2024, that becomes the primary. And in there, by May, they will know who the nominee will be. Now, if Donald Trump becomes a nominee, all the indictments are gone. Because then they'll know who's going to be president. And it won't be Biden, it'll be Trump. And the thing is that people are going to vote for Trump more than Biden. So a lot of people will say, well, we don't care about these indictments. They're idiots. They're political. A lot of Trump's lawyers said, this is ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Just like impeachment 1 and 2. So now the DOJ is mad about two things. They're mad about the judge that delays Trump's indictments. But then you also got the ones in Georgia. They seated a new jury for Trump in Georgia. No matter what indictments comes to Trump, if he's got 1 indictment, 2 indictments, 3 indictments, 4 indictments, or 5, or many, they're not going to stand. Because in the Constitution, it violates Trump's rights. Amendment 6 shows you this. It violates 7. Amendment 7 shows you that Trump is still protected as a president when he leaves office. Don't they know that? That he still has the power. Even though he's not in office. He gets money for 10 years. Trump never took no money when he was president because he didn't need it. He didn't need that income. So, would he use it now for his lawyers? The money he gets? Yeah. Because he knows he has a backup. So Jack Smith said, oh, I got a backup too if this doesn't work. So Judge Cannon sets Trump's trial for May 2024. It makes the DOJ mad. Like, there's no case here. And then the January 6th, a judge delays that. So that's two things starting to happen. What's going to be the next thing to hurt DOJ? Find out. Thank you for looking at this video. But I already know what's going to happen. A lot of people do. Thank you.